What's your favorite decade? The 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, the Tory era?
I'd say the 50s.
Because you were growing up with the Yankees?
Yeah, the 50s. Although the early 60s with Roger Maris, I became, which was crazy, because most New Yorkers were Mickey Mantle fans. Oh, I love Mickey Mantle.
Right.
But in the home run chase of 61, I was rooting for Maris, just because I've always been a rebel like it, you know. But I just thought he was the most down-home, non-ostentatious, modest. You know, he was, I mean, when you look at his record of 61 home runs, and he weighed 195 pounds, and maybe once had a couple of beers, and he was doing that, and then today, of course, you know, the steroid era and all that.
Right.
You know, I still think his record is the most home runs for a season, period. And the other records are a totally different game.
Do you remember that summer vividly?
Oh, vividly.
1961? Tell me about it. What are your favorite memories?
Well, it was, what was interesting about that summer is Maris didn't hit his first home run until May. So he went through all of it. I mean, the year he had 61 home runs, he wasn't in any in April. So he hit, you know, then May he started. June, he went, you know, June, July, and August he went bonkers. And I remember the chase. And I remember either Life or Look magazine, one of those two magazines had Mantle and Maris, the M&M boys.
Right.
And the country became obsessed with it. Because here were these two, you know, golden boys, you know,
right.
The blonde-haired, blue-eyed Yankees in pinstripes, both chasing the most, you know, revered record in baseball. And then I remember about the middle of September, Maris is a little ahead of Mantle, but only by 1 or 2. And Mickey already had 54. Roger probably already had 55 or 56. But Mickey goes down with an injury, so he misses the last 2 weeks of the season. And from the hospital, he is rooting for Roger. My most vivid memory was the 154th game, because up until then, a season was only 154 games long.
Right.
And Babe Ruth hit his 60 in 154 games. 1961 was the first year they extended it by 8 games to 162. So Ford Frick, who was the commissioner of baseball, was also had been a personal friend of Babe Ruth. Oh. And he didn't want Ruth's record broken. So he said, unless the record is broken in 154 games, they'll put an asterisk in the record book. It won't count as breaking Babe Ruth's record. And so now on the 100, and that's how the asterisk came about, which,
right.
by the way, is all a fiction. It really isn't there. But anyway, on the 154th game, Roger has 58 homers. So to tie it, he has to hit 2 that night.
Sure.
It is a Wednesday night game in Baltimore. And back then, it isn't, you know, you didn't have ESPN. So games weren't, there was a Saturday afternoon game that was televised nationally normally. But this Wednesday night, there was a national telecast of the Yankee-Baltimore game, because the whole country was now absorbed. So, you know, it was primarily, I think it was black and white television, yeah. But anyway, so there we were. It was the 154th game. Maris has 58 home runs, and so every at bat, the first time up, he flies deep to right. I mean, he hits a long fly ball deep to right, back, and everyone's going, "Oh, it's caught." Oh, it doesn't look like it do it. He gets up again in the 3rd inning, and he hits a home run. Now it's 59. I mean, this is, you couldn't write a more dramatic. Oh my God! Now he's only 1 away, and he's going to get 2 or 3 more at bats. Gets up the next time, drills a ball deep to right, just foul. I mean, just foul. And then he just made out. Now he comes up in the 9th inning, and it's his last chance to tie the record. And I mean, the pressure he was under was amazing. where you have to hit 2 home runs.
Well, sure.
Yeah, the pressure was
National
unbelievable.
TV too.
It was unbelievable. There's nothing comparable in baseball right now, because there's no record that's so revered that this is the last day you can do it. You know, there was none of that.
Right.
This was the moment. He comes up. Paul Richards is the manager. Can't believe I remember all this. Paul Richards is the manager of the Baltimore Orioles. He also was as a player, knew Babe Ruth, and he thought it was. He told his pitchers that were pitching that he would fine them $5,000 if any one of them threw a fastball to Roger Maris.
Really?
Yeah, and this came out in their biographies later on. I mean, he admitted it. Yeah. Now it's the last at bat. He brings in knuckleball pitcher Hoyt Wilhelm. Well, you can't hit a home run off a knuckleball pitch. I mean, it was just the cruelest thing. I mean, even Baltimore fans were kind of booing.
Right.
So in comes Wilhelm, and on a check swing, well, he hits another long drive which went foul, and then finally on a check swing, it dribbles back to the mound. And so he didn't make it. So he hit 59.
I can see the passion in your face when you talk about it.
I'm
man.
still pissed about it.